Hi, Sasha. Sorry, my internet just jumped off.
No. Hi, sorry. Can you hear me? I don't know if my...
Yes, I can. No, I was just worried that, hi, Karen.
Morning.
Good morning. No, I was worried that I logged in at 10:25, but then my network just dropped and I said, oh my, I'm hosting, everybody would get off. So quickly change the network. So everybody's sitting on a Friday morning, religiously attending this session. So lovely to see you guys. And
Good morning, everyone.
Like this.
Morning.
Good morning. So one of our last sessions at Cash, quite emotional for me because it's been 26 sessions. Yeah, but I enjoyed it totally. Got to know so many new lovely people. So anyone traveling over the holidays?
Sadly not, no. No.
We're all being good and following the rules. That's good. Responsible. I'll wait for a few more minutes because we've got quite a few people signed in today. Hi, Lisa.
Morning.
Irene, Anna. Dean, I received the email. Thank you. Mamta.
Hey.
Lisa, you've got the light at the back of you so we can just see your outline, your silhouette.
I know, sorry, because there's people in the kitchen and it's my son's in the kitchen, so it's better to see the background is my garden rather than them walking around.
Hi, Sharanjit. Oh, you're looking pretty today. Every time she puts that one on me, Lisa, oh, you're sitting there looking beautiful. Today she's all decked up. Welcome, Ross.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good
morning.
stuff.
So, wait for a couple of minutes and then start off.
I'm taking turn today, copying you as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, somebody has to catch you and copy you as well.
What should I say? I'm feeling really happy you said that, but I'm also gauging some naughtiness under that comment, Sharanjit, as usual.
No, nothing naughty. I just naughty but nice, maybe.
Okay.
Nothing nasty but nice.
Oh, good. So we have, can't see how many people are there because I've shared my screen. I think let's start off so we don't get off our timelines. Welcome to our last 26th session at Cash. It was lovely knowing and getting to know all of you. For those who've attended most of our sessions, it's been like a small community and family. So thank you for joining us again, Anna, Karen, Sharanjit, and Lisa, and those who have not named because we have a long list. So thank you for joining us again. Housekeeping rules, I don't need to go through it. Just request you to put yourself on mute if you are not speaking, so as not to disturb the speaker, or in case there's any sound at the background sound which would disturb them. Today we've got some really good speakers. We've got Mamta and Dean who would join us and talk about the services offered by each, especially the COVID-19 services. So Mamta is from Each Counseling and Support Engagement COVID-19 Consortia, and I think it's one organization, and each counseling and support, that's where Dean is from, or is that your job profile? Sorry. We have Ross, who is from Groundwork London, and he'd be talking about the Green Doctors. Hi, Mamta. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So,
Sorry for the.
no worries. No worries at all. It's been a lovely sunny morning, so I thank you for joining us instead of spending time outside.
That's very kind
It's
of you.
just an hour and a half, I promise. And and let's get on. I pass I pass it on to Dean and Mamta if you're ready.
Sure.
You can share your screen.
Okay,
So it's easy with the process of the entire presentation, but if you
100%.
need any assistance, I'm here.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll get started. Let me know if you're able to see what I'm showing you. Okay, perfect. So that's much better. So hi everyone. Thank you for having us at this forum. I've been wanting to come for many months now, and unfortunately, I've managed to make it only for the last session. But I'm really glad that we can connect in this way, and really happy to provide some information about each's work in the borough. We are funded by Ailing Council to deliver a few services, and just wanted to make sure everybody knew what those services are. And in particular, wanted to focus on our COVID-19 service that we've recently been funded for, and to provide an opportunity for people to understand that there's a small pot of funding available for organizations who work with PAME communities to provide awareness around COVID-19. So I'll just get started to give you a little bit of backdrop about each, and I'll try and be a Speedy Gonzalez and sort of not go into too much detail, but I'll give you enough information. So first of all, I'm the operations manager for each. So I have oversight over the delivery of our work across the different boroughs that we operate in. Ealing is where our head office is, and we've been based for many years now. And we consider Ealing our home in many ways as an organization. So we've been running services. This May we turned 30. We were established in 91. We've been providing holistic and culturally sensitive services, whereby our motto is around empowering and supporting people to improve their health and well-being. So the COVID-19 work kind of sits with that same ethos. We're a needs-led organization, and all our services are developed in response to what we find out our needs from the communities we serve. So we very closely monitor the information and listen carefully to our service users as to where the gaps might be, where they might need additional support, and raise funding depending on what we're hearing from the ground. So we're specialists in that. We support people from diverse communities, and also our staff represent the communities we serve. And a lot of our staff have the lived experiences that we talk about. And so you will find more information on our website. Currently, it's an old version website. It's about to be upgraded, so watch that space. But do visit it in a month's time, and I'm sure it will provide more current information and more. It's a more user-friendly portal that we've designed. So basically, we have 3 strands in each. There's substance misuse, domestic violence, and mental health. And those are the kind of underlying themes around all our work. But whilst we do that work, we always try and engage our service users in the wider health issues, trying and get them involved in the wider services. And so coming to forums like this is helpful for people like me, because we can connect the dots of the resources that are available locally, so we can convince our service users to access your services in a wider sense. So these are the boroughs we operate in. So we're kind of North and West London based. A lot of our work is centered around one-to-one counseling, providing therapeutic groups and programs around that. We do a lot of key working, which is one-to-one empowerment and support kind of sessions. We provide advice and information. There's education and employment support. There's housing related support. We have refugees in Brent. We have a social club, which is in Hounslow, where people who have long-term mental health conditions have a safe space. It's almost like the old version of a day center, where we operate out of normal hours, where most people would experience mental health crisis or would be very lonely, like evenings or Christmas Day or New Year's Day, we run our services then when people feel most isolated and have nowhere else to go. So that's the Hounslow Star Center. We provide volunteering opportunities for all our service users, and hence they become peers. And one of the services I'll talk to you about, you'll see where that comes to fruition in a real way. A lot of our work also means we do referrals onwards and we signpost onwards. So which is why coming to such forums is helpful for us, because then we understand. A lot of my colleagues have come to this as well, and they understand what's out there because we build it into people's care plans as to how they can access wider services. So in each, we provide housing, in Ealing, we provide housing related support, we provide employment support, there's a mental health signposting service, and information and peer support. And now there's a COVID-19 community engagement service. In terms, that's what we call our recovery services. So those are practical support services that we provide. Counseling services, which is our therapeutic services, or what we call our clinical work. We have four arms really in that. But within that, two of those arms are women-only counseling group and support services. The second one is around rough sleepers. This is a new project that's going live now. We're working in partnership with Ealing Council and St. Mungo's and with RISE to deliver this work. Substance misuse and mental health counseling. We have a social enterprise, and this enables us to fill gaps where we can't get funding, for example, or there's the commissioners no longer have budgets for this kind of work. We support individuals who kind of would slip between the cracks in some ways, and support them through this social enterprise model. In the housing related support, it's funded by Ealing Council. So the whole goal of this service is to prevent homelessness and to provide support so that people who are vulnerable and are not able to sustain the roof over their heads, either because they've gone into arrears or they have too many repairs, or because they have a mental health issue, are not able to sustain their regular payments of their, maintain the responsibility of having a roof over their heads in a safe way. So we provide that support so they can engage carefully with their social workers, pay their bills on time, etc., etc. So for this, if you're a professional agency, you can send your referral right through, or you can ask the GP of the service user, social workers, any community organization can send the referral to Ealing Council, make a referral, and an SST, which is a specialist service unit in Ealing Council, sends through the referral to us. So we'd encourage you to reach out through that means if you have service users who are struggling, particularly now with the COVID situation and the change in the agreements that the government has agreed with landlords. IPS Works, this is delivered in partnership with Twining Enterprise, but our proportion of this work is especially to work with BME communities, where we have a team of 4 working across 7 boroughs. But Ealing is definitely one of our strong, because our headquarters are here, our base is here. We support a high proportion of number of people from the Ealing community around employment. So these individuals need to have a common kind of mental health issues. So it could range from, say, isolation and loneliness and anxiety related to going back into work, to people who have long-term mental health conditions but are stable enough to engage with this kind of service. So if you are interested in sending through a referral, have a chat with us and we'll work out with you who's best suited for this. But this service has, we engage people at where they are comfortable. So right now, a lot of the work is happening online, but a considerable amount of work will start again in our offices. So where there's one-to-one coaching, there's key working, there's helping people to identify where that gap is. So you might think that, as say someone who's a migrant has a lot of qualifications from where they've come from, but they can't fit into the job market here. They just need a few skills and a confidence booster, and sometimes, just to break through. And then we do this tailored support. And also there's funding, small pots of funding in this work for accredited courses as well. So individuals can sign up for those courses and then access the better jobs that they aspire for. This is a service that I was talking about, where we have people who've recovered from mental health becoming peers to support others. This is a service that's funded by Ealing Council again, and it's called Sustaining Transitions Through Emotional and Practical Support. So this is a transition from when you are recovering from long-term mental health conditions, you need that support. And you sometimes people say that they've received a lot of support but want to give back, and they want to kind of tackle some of the stigma. They want to challenge some of the difficulties and the barriers that individuals might have in accessing support, because a lot of people, especially now with COVID-19 and the lockdowns, have experienced isolation, have experienced loneliness to such an extent that it sent them to a point where they feel like they're alone in this journey. And this is a good service to connect them with, because we have a befriending service which Ealing Council has agreed for us to run since COVID, because we had to adapt our service. This service was primarily meant to be delivered in the community. So if you walked up into, say, West Ealing Library, or you walked into the Civic Center, Town Hall, Ealing Town Hall, you would have found our info banks, you would have found our workers there, you would have found our volunteers and our peers there talking to you about mental health, asking if you knew about what services were there, telling you about how to access this information. But with COVID-19, all of that had to stop, and all of a sudden, so we reinvented the wheel in some ways, or reinvented ourselves, and went back to the council and said that we understand that people are really lonely, really isolated, and we have volunteers, peers who've recovered, would be happy to support residents of Ealing in their recovery pathways. And we've been doing that steadily since last May. And it's going really well. But essentially, what we've done is we've converted the service to a considerable amount of online work. So our peers have produced videos and blogs about how they have recovered. We have a self-care Sunday campaign. So 5 minutes on how you can look after yourselves, 15 minutes on how every Sunday can set you up to approaching your week ahead. The human library model is where some of our, Christmas was coming, we were going into another national lockdown. So our peers felt very motivated about sharing that even though you might have a mental health condition, even though you might have depression, or you might be feeling very anxious about what's coming ahead, or not being able to see your family as you wanted to, how they were going to adapt their Christmas to cope with the lockdown. So there's really sweet videos on online where they've shared their learnings. Also, because when we had those periods of, where we could be back in the community, we really had to think about where are people going, and that mostly the places that people were going, which we were allowed to go, were shopping centers or your grocery stores. And so we set up pop-ups in these areas, so we could give out leaflets about other mental health resources in the borough, so that at least people could access help when they needed it most. And that's the model of this service. It's called Steps. We have women-only services, as I was describing earlier. So our Jasmine project has been running for the last 4.5 years, 5 years, and we've just had confirmation it's received funding for another further 3 years. So it'll come back again. But this is a holistic support service where a woman who's 18 plus, experiencing as a primary issue around drugs and alcohol, but also experiencing mental health difficulties, or has experienced abuse as a result of trying to cope with their abuse by having drugs and alcohol, whatever those issues are, and they live leading quite chaotic lives, or they're not able to manage their practical needs because they're kind of struggling with their emotions, and vice versa. So this is a service that can provide support. It's been around for a long time, and we continue to deliver it now that we've received the funding and confirmation of the funding. So it will go live again by the end of the summer when we recruit, etc., for the posts. But basically, it's one-to-one sessions. There'll be groups, and it's a program of activity, creating a structure in a week for an individual who's struggling to build back a routine for them and build back a recovery pathway for them. And part of that is where we will come to partners like yourself to engage with you to see what support we can provide together for these individuals as they recover and come back into the community. We run groups for women who've experienced domestic violence as part of our partnership agreement with Ascent, which is a pan-London model. So these are women and girls of 16 plus who've experienced or are survivors of domestic violence, sexual violence, where we provide groups where they might have historic issues, or they might be currently living with it. The idea is to help them recognize what abuse is and identify steps to overcome it, empower themselves with some new confidence, and begin to build new lives post the abuse. This is the social enterprise I was telling you about. This is where individuals can access support who wouldn't normally fit under any of the free services. And if you have people who might be able to participate or might benefit from this, do get in touch with us. And now I'll kind of segue to the main purpose for our being here really is, so Ealing Council had knew that they needed to respond to the COVID crisis that was emerging last summer, and was kind of parts of the borough very badly affected, and particularly BME communities were experiencing more deaths and more illness because of COVID-19. And so we were one of the organizations that applied for this funding. But the model we suggested was not for us to have all the funding as such. We wanted to work with partners because we knew that being BME communities, all our communities are different. There's not one size fits all. And community organizations that work with these communities know best how to approach them, how to talk to them about keeping safe, how to address some of the barriers they might have around, say, wearing masks or using the test and trace, or breaking down, for example, when you need to take your COVID test, is it asymptomatic testing? Is it, symptomatic testing? This is all a lot of jargon, a lot of technical information, which people with, I've struggled to understand some of the nuances of it. So I can understand where if people have language difficulties, or they're seeing a lot of news on their WhatsApp messages from trusted sources, people they love and care from, telling them this is all not, don't follow this because it's all fake or whatever. So we wanted to challenge some of that, but do it in a helpful way, in a supportive way. So we approached the council. We were successful. We received a pot of funding with the model that we will deliver some of the work along with a consortium of partners who work closely with BME communities. And so one of the reasons why we're here today is to say that we have now received a little bit more funding. So we have opportunities, small pots of funding can be made available for community groups in Ealing who are working with BME communities, ethnically diverse communities, people who've been affected differently from COVID. And like, for example, we know that BME communities were resistant at first to take up the vaccine. But with a lot of work in the community, now that trajectory is changing. And some of the partners in this consortium have been very key to that as well, in having one-to-one sessions, etc. So my colleague Dean is here, who's the project manager for the service. He'll explain to you more in depth about what this service is about and how you as organizations might be able to approach us. Over to you, Dean.
Thank you, Mamta. Yes, I'm the engagement COVID-19 project manager. And through the sessions that Mamta said, we, as the organization of each, were already doing incentives in and around health and improving people's well-being. So as part of the reason what compounded us to be selected to lead the consortium. So essentially, each has been funded by the council from last year, December, to November this year, to build a resource which is dedicated of different type of organizations that do reflect the diversities of in and around the communities. All these organizations have been selected for particular reasons, because they reach and target a community that might not be the focus, might be quite marginalized. So what's great about us is leading that consortium, we can make sure that the message is come across to us as communities, so they're clear and they can know how best ways to protect themselves and people around them. If you go to the next slide. So in regards to the engagement service, so with the fund, we select a number of communities that deliver a robust COVID-19 engagement. So these activities that need to be put in place can be broken down into 3 different sections, really. So level 1 would be to raise awareness. That would be types of newsletters, social media. So already through the current members, we've actually reached out to 5,860 clients in regards to level 1 awareness. And that's through Facebook, Instagram. All of these channels is a great way to communicate directly to the service users.
And just to add, that was for 1 quarter. That was for April to the June period.
Yeah, yeah.
was quite significant numbers for one period.
Yeah, so it's really high, especially I guess with being locked down, a lot of people are online. So having the ability to communicate directly to those communities has been phenomenal. So the second level was is level 2, which is understanding through group work. So usually that would be a setting of having group sessions and having discussions in around COVID, some of the issues that might be affecting those communities. So over the last quarter, we reached out to 273 units were actually done in that last quarter. So that's phenomenal in terms of having those engagements, and like through the feedback we're getting from some of the consortium members, these conversations, there might be things that not be the mainstream. I know things that we discovered about the communities that are really key, and how we engage with them with having personalized, tailored information is really key in terms of their understanding and breaking down some of those barriers. And last level is a level 3. So that's enabling residents through one-to-one support. So that would be directly through one-to-one. So that might be on the telephone or even face-to-face with the restrictions in place. And then, yeah, so with that, you definitely get a sense of feeling in terms of what kind of issues is directly related to them and how best to overcome them with solutions. If you go into the next slide, please. So, so it leads into the current consortium members. So at the moment, currently, we have a number of different members that all specialize in different sectors, which is great. Actually, been part of me even knowing about this presentation is that part of one of the members who is part of our consortium. So it's all about having that network, and the bigger the network, the bigger the spread impact. So one of the organizations that is part of our consortium is Contacts, you might be familiar with. So they focus is around charities and children with disabilities. And what they do is they support and bring families together and take actions for others. Another great organization is an organization by the name of GOSAD. So they work with disadvantaged children and young people in West London. In particular, they focus on BMEs communities and they do centers around those in terms of activities and sports. Another organization as well, which is phenomenal, doing some great work in the communities, is the Iranian Association. So they help to fully help people who migrate from different nationalities into the UK. They receive advice around benefits and health and well-being. So they're doing some great work as well. We've got a few more. So the AYA is the Acting Youth Association. So what they do is they're part of a social enterprise that provide access to key services for the youth, a young generation. So they do active youth workshops, do campaigns and sports and around, and also focus on good health and wellbeing programs around the community as well. Also, we've got EHCVS, is a registered charity, and that support over 800 local voluntary community groups within Ealing. So they're doing amazing work, and they've been doing it for over 35 years. So it's an amazing organization. Next up, we've got the Armenian Association as well. So they advance disadvantaged members of the Armenian community as well, which are sometimes not on the forefront. And then lastly, we've got the Ealing Vice Service, which is part of the Main Cup. So they're also like a consortium of different organizations, and our engagement with them really has just been phenomenal in terms of how they engage with their different organizations they work with, in terms of best support their members in terms of health and well-being. So, I mean, these are the current members, but the great thing is that's not the extensive list. We're looking for more. So at the moment we've got 7, but ideally we're looking at 10 key members that can actually focus on different ethnic diversities, demographics, people that are marginalized, but can give actually help in regards to COVID and best practices.
So just to add, so the way that this work has been delivered through these members, the reason why we've highlighted them is that a lot of them were already having to explain some of the COVID messages to their communities. And so what they found is that when COVID struck and the government was issuing guidelines and then again some more guidelines, they had to interpret all of that information quite quickly, and they had to deliver a session. So if they were running, say, an elders group, then they would just add on more time to that and kind of explain how to wear a mask and why you have to wear a mask, and hand sanitization. And then when the vaccination programs came as well, is to encourage people, and people have done that in very different ways. So, for example, Aya, what they did is the Acton News Association, they had doctors from the Somali community and nurses from the Somali community do videos about why the vaccine was effective, and how and kind of myth busting for people as well. And what that did is, and some of the groups, for example, had debates as to you know to and against for and against vaccination, and kind of understood what it is that's challenging people from taking up the vaccine, and try to address some of those. Sometimes it was as simple as putting a leaflet in the food boxes that were going to people's homes. So Kaya was delivering hot food when there was acute lockdown, and so they've attached some leaflet and information from in a simplistic way for individuals to read. So I think what we're trying to say is that every organization is doing something. People are already reacting and responding to the COVID crisis in many ways and healing, and trying to respond to the demand that's coming through in terms of education of people, support for people, and other ways. So this service is about preventing further ill health. Is to stop people from getting COVID, and also to encourage people to use the testing program. Is to encourage people to take up the vaccine program. Um, so if you're doing any of those three strands of work, or all of those three strands of work, we'd encourage you to get in touch, have a conversation with myself and Dean, and tell us what it is that you're already doing, because perhaps what you're already doing is enough for you to get a little bit more funding to do, add on some more sessions, or do a little bit more social media, or add 15-20 minutes on to have a quality conversation in an ESOL class, for example. So do have a think about if this is something that you could benefit from, and your service users, more importantly, can benefit from. What we've done is we've just provided some contact details. So while I have oversight over the service, Clarissa is our deputy CEO. Some of you may already know her. She's been on the forum before. She works closely with the council and was responsible for us to get this consortium model going. And so on that note, we'll end. I'm just conscious of time, and just to see if there are any questions that we could answer.
Thank you, Mamta, for that amazing presentation. Honestly, I'm really impressed by the detail that has gone into each project that we've put into. The time that people would be lonely, looking at the project that you set up in evenings or around holidays, your Jasmine project, your Steps project is just amazing as to how detailed and carefully planned these projects are. Dean, I think Dean is on this. Yeah, Dean, we are E at CVS. When he was explaining about E at CVS, I said I'd put my name as E in there. So thank you for that presentation. I think Sharanjeet has her hand up there. Would you like to ask a question, Sharanjeet?
Yeah, I would like to ask Mamta, do you have any outdoor activities, people with emotional health? If not, we have open spaces, community allotment where they can join. We can offer you to those people to join them to Saturday activities on allotment. And
So-
it's 12 till 3, they can come and join us anytime.
So, Sharanjeet, what I've understood is that you're working with communities on allotments and open spaces. Is that right?
Yeah.
I can't
we
hear you
have-
very well. I'm sorry. I'm kind
You
of.
can't hear you very clearly.
Okay, let me take it off. Hear me better now?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I think I was trying to use two devices while I'm working as well. We have a disability community allotment, which is purpose built with the access with the
Right. So yeah, we definitely would love to connect with you, Sharanjeet. if you can share your contact details with us, because gardening
Yeah,
is one of the
so
things that,
we have, can you still hear me?
yes.
Yeah, sorry, I had a phone call in between. I'm so sorry about that. Yes, I will share my details on the chat box, so you can guide people to come out in the community where we grow food together. Every Saturday is public days, so otherwise, on and off, we are open. In the holidays, we'll be open a lot more as well for families and children as well. But Saturday is mainly for adults. And we grow food together, and then whoever join us as a volunteers as well, we we donate them food all the time.
All right.
And
Where is
it's
this?
a
Manpreet? Where
this
in
is
Ealing is it?
Way Avenue, Cranford.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
I can definitely think of some service users who could benefit from this. So can I have your contact details? And
I'll
I'll
send
connect.
you my, yeah, I'll add the contact details so at least people will be able to join in and also take a benefit of the food growing. And also every time they come, they can take something home as well.
Oh, that's
You
lovely.
know, we got so much food growing at the moment, so much we need to give away all the time. So
Fantastic.
I'll add my details in the chat box.
Perfect.
And there is a car park available and disability toilet available. We have all the facilities they need. We have a wheelchair access as well.
That's brilliant. It's thought of everything.
Yeah, it's everything there. Yeah, I'll add my details in the chat.
Perfect. Because when our Jasmine project starts, it'll be really lovely to connect with you as well. Because a lot of the women who access our therapy services find that gardening and growing has been very therapeutic for them and helps them recover. And that
Yeah,
whole idea of bonding with others around them while they're
and
doing that is so important.
especially in the green area, it does make a lot of difference to your mind.
100%.
People does improve their mental health within days when they start coming there regular.
Fantastic. So
You
I
know.
will promote your service with our Ealing teams, definitely.
It's in the, we have allotment in Hounslow or Cranford at the moment.
Okay.
So anybody can join in. That's not a problem.
Okay. And even if they're Ealing residents, it's not a problem.
That's not a problem. We don't kick up a fuss. I'm a Hounslow, I'm Ealing. This is the war seems to be going on between two boroughs. We don't cover Ealing, we don't cover Hounslow, but we cover everybody. Because everybody, I think when they are down, we can't put the conditions on people. It just put them off, and we don't want to make it difficult for people already who are suffering. God knows how much. We don't want to make it difficult. We want to make it easy for them, so at least they can come out without any conditions and enjoy the time they want to come out.
I agree with you 100%. So
Yeah.
I do put your details through. I will connect with you after.
Yeah, thank you.
I have to add to that because actually when Sharonjeet talks about her allotment, she does call it the allotment, but actually it's a little piece of paradise in the middle of Hounslow. Once you're at the allotment, you feel as though you're right in the heart of the country.
Oh wow.
It's really lovely.
We're going to come. Maybe we can do a field trip to you and encourage
Yeah.
some of our service users that way.
It's really, and there's a playground, a safe area as well for children. So
I love the name Sunshine of Hounslow.
Because we have a 6-foot fencing around our allotment, so it's fully secure. Anybody, when you go in, even I'm alone sometimes, I just close the gate and hook it up. Nobody can walk in at all without asking your permission. So it's a very safe environment. And we have been building this area for over 6-7 years now, and it's fully developed, but people can come and engage anytime. Every Saturday is open to the public.
How lovely. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Anji.
It does make a lot of difference to the mind when you go there and spend half an hour. After the half an hour, you forget everything was bothering you and you just get on with, and there is so much work to keep the allotment up as well. And the food donations are all the time. Imagine growing organic food and taking it away as well. You know, it's all free. It's all free.
Yeah,
And
that's
thank you,
amazing.
Jane has visited once or twice, and Jane really enjoyed it as well. But we are still waiting to see Jane again there to make our garden flourish better.
So
Yeah.
it is a beautiful place. I've seen it on video. So some amazing networking going on, which is good. So Mamta, what I understand is you all are looking for consortium, partners. Today we have received quite a few emails, of apologies of people who couldn't make it, who are our regulars. And I will be sharing in this slide the slides even to those who normally join in, because I think they would benefit from the presentation that you have had, that you presented for us today. Any more questions for Mamta and Dean today? Just being mindful of the time, because I believe they have another meeting to go to.
For you, Noika, these sessions has been very successful, and you brought a variety of information to these 26 sessions, which was amazing. There is a little down line as well, which I have to point out. I requested numbers of time. We wanted to see the allotment people, who the development of the allotments, the people who are in charge of the allotments, and that hasn't been happened yet. I would like to know why.
I haven't been able to connect with them to get that time. People on Friday morning, usually at the end of the week, it is kind of difficult to get people around. In fact, I'm so happy Mamta and Dean finally joined us. We're all working towards the same goal, working with the BAME community. But I'm so glad to have you guys here. And Sharanjit, but this is not the end. I'm sure we'd have this network in some form, in some way ahead, and I will fulfill that last request of yours. But I hope the other sessions have been fun, informative, and worth your time. So.
Definitely, it was worth our time. There was a lot of information, but I did ask this allotment site contacts time, and third time, I think fourth time I'm asking this time, within 26 weeks. Why couldn't we catch them to come to? It's 26 weeks is a long time.
It would have been lovely to have them, Sharanjit. There are a number of groups and services we would have liked to have had in to talk to us, but not people are it's really, really difficult to get hold of people and tie them down to a time and a space. But we have in mind that there is a need to get them available at some point. And perhaps we can do that through the Voice Network on a Wednesday as well.
Okay.
If eventually they become available.
Yeah, I'll be praying. Moving on to our, if there are no more questions for Mamta and Dean, I will be sharing their slides at the end of the session. It has been brilliant having you guys and sharing the information. I know some of us, Amanda, you joined in a little later. Karen told me about it, and but we will be sharing these slides. Have been brilliant. Let me move on to the next speaker, who's Ross Brown. He is from Groundworks London, and he'll be talking about green doctors and saving energy at home. Ross, if you're ready, I'd be sharing your slides now.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, that's the one. So if you just,
Okay.
there you go, wonderful. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah, hopefully we can establish some nice relationships here and get some referrals. Hopefully, yeah, you'll have some people in mind that we can support. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so for those of you who've not heard of the Green Doctors, you may well have. We've been around for about 15 years, helping vulnerable Londoners with anything and everything energy related at home. Pre-pandemic, and we're starting to get there now. Normally, yeah, we would be in the residents' homes, spending around 2 hours with a household, speaking to them, yeah, about anything energy related that they need support with, as well as installing things around the house to keep warm air in and cold air out, for example, and reduce their energy output. At the moment, since March 16th, we've done everything virtually, telephone or video. I think we're up to about 4,000 virtual consultations in just under 18 months, which has been fantastic. So we've still been able to support a lot of people remotely, which has been fantastic. Slide, please. Oh, you can just crack on. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I didn't know there was animation. Sorry. Yeah, so the aims of the visit, so yeah, to improve the health and reduce the impact of cold homes that the households or the vulnerable people that we speak to might have, to increase or maximize that particular household or individual's income through support or bill reductions, and enable them to take control of how they're using energy in their home, and through that reduce their bills. Thank you. So yeah, what is fuel poverty? There are loads of definitions, but a general one that we use in the UK is a household that spends more than 10% of their disposable income on fuel, or kind of the hidden side of that is that if a household did spend enough to properly heat their home, that they would fall below that line. And that's often kind of a heat or eat situation, where it might not look like they're in fuel poverty, but they're living in a cold home to save money, which obviously can be detrimental to health. Thank you. Yeah, how many people are affected? I think this is an up-to-date figure, including the COVID numbers that Citizens Advice put out. So it's over 4 million households, and that's almost 20% of households in the UK. And yeah, the numbers rose by, I think the Citizens Advice said around 600, 700,000 because of the pandemic. And yeah, the cost of energy is increasing. People spending more time at home wouldn't have helped with that, loss of income, and the general cost of living is rising. And unless wages or benefits are kind of rising with inflation, yeah, you're going to see less money in people's pockets. Thank you. Yeah, the causes of fuel poverty, like I said, fuel costs. We need to use fuel to cook and stay warm. You know, they're the kind of main reasons to, or the main costs of fuel. Household income, we generally work with people who have low income and try and help them find more or have cheaper or use less of their money on energy. But yeah, having a low income is a cause of fuel poverty. And first and foremost, kind of energy efficiency. If the fabric of the house or the home that the residents are living in isn't up to scratch, hot air is going to escape, warm air is going to come in, and however much you are heating your home, it's going to be not efficient, and you're going to be wasting money trying to heat a home that isn't going to warm up. And kind of E, F and G homes are the real the real problem areas, and yeah, should be kind of addressed with priority. Yep, there are health implications to living in a cold home, increased risk of heart attack and strokes, higher blood pressure, increased risks of COPD, asthma, and other respiratory infections, including COVID. People living with arthritis will see their condition worsen. Higher risk of falls and other accidents due to loss of cognitive function, and yeah, really sadly, excess winter deaths. So yeah, the Green Doctor program, at the moment we're providing free telephone consultations to eligible residents on how to save energy in their home. Like I said, we will help with energy debt, switching energy providers, and accessing grants that residents might not have knowledge of, that the Green Doctors will have knowledge of, and can refer onward to other services that might be health or well-being or other kind of monetary services. Yeah, so how to save energy in the home. The Green Doctors are, I've forgotten the name of the qualification. I think it's level 3 energy awareness, domestic in domestic environments. So yeah, they're experts in kind of how to save energy at home and how to reduce energy at home while keeping the house warm and safe, which is the most important thing. And yeah, they kind of empower the residents to kind of make the changes themselves. We have like a room by room basis look at where energy is being used and potentially wasted, and can kind of educate people on how to efficiently use appliances or how to reduce the energy used in certain ways. And yeah, we install energy saving measures around the home. That might be to, like I said, to keep cold air out or warm air in, but also things like energy efficient light bulbs, water saving devices, electric power down devices, anything to kind of help reduce energy, and obviously in turn that reduces the bills. Another great part that we can help massively in is with energy debt, and I say energy debt because that's what we're able to help with. So any gas, electric, or water debts, we can help residents apply for grants. Generally, the grants we apply for are around kind of £300-400, but in the last year and a half alone, we've had one where we've cleared £4,000 off of one person's bill. So that's kind of £200-300 is average, but yeah, we've made massive impact to people's finances, and can look at accessing grants that might be for home improvements or discounts, like it says there, for the warm home discount, which is a one-off yearly fee off your winter bill, so usually paid in kind of February, and depending on your water area. But yeah, the Thames Water is Water Help and Water Shore, so that's either a 50% water on 50% discount on your water bill, or Water Shore, which is a cap, and different eligibility criteria for certain things. But generally, yeah, a lot of people we speak to are eligible for a lot of these things, and they're not secrets, but they're not kind of automatically applied to people, regardless whether Thames Water or the electricity people know who's living there. You have to kind of apply yearly, so it's worth telling these people about that. Thanks. And yeah, switching energy provider is a great one. Again, it's on average around £300 a year for people who haven't switched in the last 2 or 3 years by getting a better tariff. We found it more difficult to help people switch over the phone, but in person, we switch a lot of people. And yeah, you can see kind of £400, £500, £600 savings a year for people who have been with providers for a long time. And yeah, looking at smart meters and how that can help save energy and give accurate bills and things like that, and signposting to other services. A lot of the Green Doctors have worked in and around London for many, many years and know kind of local services, and as well as kind of bigger organizations to refer to. And obviously it's all, yeah, case by case, and after having conversations with them. Yeah, and signing people up to the priority services register, again, not automatically that people are signed up to this, but it's, yeah, a register to keep people safe in an event of kind of a long-term power cut, for example. People might need to be given interim heating supplies for particularly people who are particularly vulnerable to cold, for example, or it might be that people can be given free hotel accommodation if they need it, if there's a problem in the area. But yeah, it's important to be on that list. And once you're on the list, depending on your criteria forever. The eligibility criteria for a Green Doctor visit is varied. We're not in the business of turning people away. If people come to us for support, we'll generally try and find a way to fit them into the criteria. But yeah, low income and in receipt of any means tested benefits, anyone living with a long-term health condition, people living with a disability, older people, and households living with children under 5 are kind of, yeah, the demographics that we speak to. Yeah, the calls are booked in advance so that the residents know when we're calling them, so we're not cold calling either. It's all, yeah, through referrals, and the phone calls last between 45 and 60 minutes, depending on the need of the resident. And yeah, everything is absolutely free, including the measures that we would install. At the moment, we're either dropping them off contact free to doorsteps, or posting measures that the residents have agreed that they're happy to install themselves. So we're still able to support in that way, but we are looking in the next couple of weeks to slowly roll out and pilot getting back into the community and supporting residents in their homes. Yeah, and during the consultation, the Green Doctors will also ask questions about the boiler and things like that, and to find out if there's ways that we can yeah, get repairs or get faulty boilers broken for free through grants and things that are available. So yeah, residents can refer themselves, that's absolutely fine, or there is a form on the website there. I believe you're going to share the slides after, so yeah, the link is there, or you can phone in, we can go through the form with the bookings team. Yeah, the form, which is on the next slide, yeah, it doesn't ask for a lot, just kind of who and potentially why people are being referred, and then we will call the residents, get a bit more information from them, and then book in a call at a time that's suitable for them, and then one of the Green Doctors, yeah, will call at that time. Yeah, and we can, I'm not sure of the exact translations that we've got, but we have got the Green Doctor flyers translated into a few different languages. So if you do want some to share, do get in touch, and I can find out which languages we've got available. And it might be that, yeah, we can do more. And another thing that we're able to do in a group setting is do community energy talks, where Carolina or one of the Green Doctors will speak to a larger group of people about saving energy at home, and then while there, potentially identify people who might need more one-to-one support, and get them booked in for, yeah, a home visit or a telephone consultation where the Green Doctor can speak to them more in depth about any problems they might have. Not seeing this slide. Sorry, don't carry on. I've not seen these ones. Yeah, so how odd. I don't think I've got time for these ones anyway.
Okay.
If you go to the last one, so next one after that. So I think it's a slide missing. Oh, so there was a case study on there that kind of just shows I must have missed it. The impact that we can have on a single phone call. I think the case study said that we cleared £418 of debt from this particular residence.
Wow.
Water bills, signed them up for the warm home discount. I got them £140 discount for the upcoming winter, and they were signed up to a water discount as well, and saved them £240 as well as signing up to the priority service register and giving general advice. So, you know, it's not uncommon to have multiple interventions like that can save residents hundreds and hundreds of pounds a year. You know, with not cash injections, but schemes like that, as well as following the advice that we give, that would hopefully see their energy bills reduce. So I rattled through that. I could speak about the Green Doctors for hours, but yeah, I'm here for questions. I think there's time at the end for chit chat, and I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions that anyone might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross, for that. It's the way forward, I think, for all of us now. So thank you for bringing this to our last session. Any questions for Ross there?
Yes, definitely. Ross, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
We've seen a homeopathy doctor, we've seen a normal doctor. It's nice to see a green doctor. It has been, we are Sunshine of Hounslow. I'm Shanjit Pala. I have introduced so many people during the pandemic to get some support from the Green Doctor. So I used to fill up the application on their form on their behalf and get them help. And regular, we are still helping people. It's a brilliant job you're doing. And, you know, people who can't afford to reach a lot of they can't afford a lot of things, which is really a great help to the community, because at the moment mental health and job losses, also financial loss, is affecting people really badly.
Absolutely.
So I would also ask you to do contact more and more organizations which can help with this your system, because the organizations are more involved and in touch with the community and knows a lot more who is suffering and which way, and they can get more benefit, and your outreach will be a lot more throughout the organizations rather than on your own. But it's a brilliant job you're doing, and people are really benefiting from that. Due to disability, I'm the one of them as well, which I was not aware of. And I just applied, and we're going to go through for the support as well. But I have been helping so many people in past, and I will continue with our services to support them through Green Doctors as well.
Great, thank you. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely be in touch if we exchange emails, and I can introduce you to Carolina, who's our senior outreach officer. And if you've got organisations that you could recommend that she's not spoken to before, we'd love to try and link up with some new. Oh, fantastic! Thank you.
You can mention my name to Carolina anytime. I know her.
Oh, fantastic!
A lot even came to the Green Doctors, so I know her a lot more than that. So I do keep in touch with her every month and on regular basis as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, I added my details in the chat box as well.
Yeah, I've just got them. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've met at other meetings before, I believe.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So we will continue. Could you also send us more and more information what is available through the emails, please, so we can
Absolutely.
Yeah, read and help as many people we can in the community. There's so many people, especially young moms and people, families with a special need. We are helping so many people with the special need children. So hopefully they'll be able to benefit more from your services.
Yeah, that's our aim as well. To support as
you.
many people as we possibly can.
Yeah. It's a brilliant work. It's amazing what you're doing, and as much you offer the support to the community is amazing. You know, it's really amazing. Thank you.
Brilliant. Any more questions for Ross? Okay. I will be sharing these slides post the session. Just wanted to share a couple of events coming up over the next few weeks, which we've set up for you guys. One is the Future Ealing Fund crowdfunding workshop, which is on the 28th at 10 o'clock. We have Space Hive who would be there presenting. And the Future Ealing Fund is a match fund on a project which you would raise on Space Hive. It's up to £10,000 by the Ealing Council. So those organizations supporting Ealing, providing services in Ealing, do register for this event. It's on the 28th. And on the 29th of July, on Thursday, in the evening at 5:30, we have a session on discrimination and vicarious liability, as well as information on I don't know if it was staff handbook, just give me a second. No, we've done staff handbook. On performance and disciplinary management to avoid unfair dismissal claims. This is by our solicitor and trustee of EHCVS at 5:30 in the evening, 5:30 to 6:30. If this session, if you feel you need training or support on this, to join us at 5:30 on Thursday, coming Thursday. The last time, do put in your feedback into the comment, into the link that I've put into the chat. And I hope you've enjoyed the last 26 weeks with us. And look forward to meeting you at other events that we run.
Thank you. Been brilliant.
In fact, the session is now open for discussion, so I've finished with mine. So if you'd like to put your cameras on, share what you feel the session has been for you, or even simply just get to know each other, the session is open. Thank you, everybody.
Well, I think today's session helped me to dress up and look pretty and sit and wait and copy someone as well. You can stop the recording.
She's so smitten by me now.
Could you stop the recording now, please?
Okay, I will do that. Actually, yeah, I will stop the recording.